Hey everybody, this is Craig Call, Director of Nature Reliance School, and today I'm with my good friend Aaron Little from Performance Edge in Lexington, Kentucky, and we're going to be interviewing him about all the things that he does. Aaron, good to see you again.
Good to see you again, Craig.
Tell me what's going on with Performance Edge.
All right, so Performance Edge, just for your viewers, Performance Edge, we're based out of Lexington, Kentucky. We're a mixed martial arts and combative school. What do I mean by mixed martial arts and combatives? You know, it's kind of two sides, the sport of mixed martial arts, and then the combative side, which takes a lot of that same approach to training and applies it to what a lot of people would consider self-defense. So kind of the way we refer to it in the gym, we have a competitive side and a non-competitive side. Right. In the non-competitive side, we do hand-to-hand edge weapons, impact weapons, firearms training.
So
that kind of thing.
You're doing that on a weekly basis here?
Yes, those are ongoing classes here in Lexington at the gym, and then pretty much anything we do, we also do on the road as traveling classes.
Well, fantastic. So you have seminars as well where you go wherever. So if somebody's looking for you to come to their location, you'll go there, right?
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
What about, you said impact weapons, edge weapons. How about firearms training?
Yes.
Do you do that too?
We do. We do firearms training locally, pistol, rifle, shotgun, partner tactics training, that kind of thing, both under the Performance Edge banner. And then in conjunction with Tactical Response. Tactical Response is a large firearms training company based out of Tennessee that I've been an instructor for I don't know, 12, 13, 14 years. So we offer our own firearms classes locally and on the road, and then locally we are kind of a satellite of Tactical Responses classes.
Well, I've said many times for you all that regularly watch, I've trained at Tactical Response in Camden. I've also trained under Aaron here in Lexington, and that's why I wanted to get him on camera, because a lot of the stuff that he's doing I really appreciate. And particularly, Aaron, I wanted you to talk to the folks that are following us about your, I forget what the name of it is, full contact gunfighting?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Full contact gunfighting. The name I came up with when I first put the curriculum together. Sometimes the name's a little confusing, but the full contact gunfighting class, there's no live fire. That is that space between hand to hand and lethal force, right? So if heaven forbid you find yourself in a violent physical altercation and you have to go hands on with someone, in the middle of that struggle, the fight escalates. It goes from I just thought this guy wanted to punch me to he's going for a knife, he's going for a gun. What do? Do I try to stop him from drawing his knife, drawing his gun? Do I create space, draw my knife, draw my gun? Well, the situation dictates the tactics, and the only way I can ever know is by training as realistically as possible doing that, by trying to stop him from drawing his knife, drawing his gun, by trying to keep him off of me while I draw my knife, transition to my gun. I think that's an area that's not covered well in the training community. So there are a few other really good people doing that, but it's very few and far between. So in the full contact gunfighting class, which is a 2-day course, you will do basic striking defense, basic takedown defense, some ground survival stuff, and then integration of edged firearms into that class. It's a really good, really exciting, really hard 2 days.
So is that a class where you're outside the whole time? You do part of it in, out? How do you go about doing
What's cool about that class, since there's no live fire involved, I can and have taught it pretty much anywhere. We can teach it entirely outside. We can teach it entirely inside. Like here in Lexington, we could teach it all inside here at Performance Edge on the mats. I've taught it on tile floors, carpeted floors, grassy fields. Every class, because of that, every time you take it, it's a completely different experience.
Sure.
So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. We actually did some training at our facility last night where we went out in the parking lot.
Nice.
And it's one of those things, and it sounds like this is what you're doing, is you're making sure that it's as realistic as it can be. I mean,
right.
How do you work? I know a lot of people would probably be concerned they're going to get injured in doing that. How do you go about making sure that people aren't getting injured?
Sure.
Because I know you're really good at that.
Safety is very important to me. I believe that training is supposed to make us better and not worse. And if I'm always so beat up and injured from my training that I can't fight my way out of a wet paper bag, then my training has failed me. Right? Regardless of what I've learned and what I can do, if I'm so injured I can't fight, it was useless. I try very hard to run a very ego-free training environment. I want good training partners. I try to start that off from the very first drill, that everybody is there to help everybody else. So can I ensure that no one is ever going to get injured? Of course not. And if an instructor tells you they can, go somewhere else. Right. Because accidents happen. We've not had any. Hopefully we never do. But the way we work to make it as safe as possible is by enforcing that students always communicate with their training partners. Mm-hmm. You, as the participant, need to be out of your ego enough to be able to say, hey, can we slow down? Hey, can we not go so hard? Hey, let's take it easy on this. Mm-hmm. And maybe the next iteration, your partner may go, all right, let's go harder. Right. But as long as we have that communication, we're in an agreement with our training partners and we trust them, then that makes that safety a lot easier to manage.
Right. So for the most part, the people and our followers that follow us on Dance Depot are quite a range of people. But for the most part, they're survival, preparedness, self-reliant type folks. So from a combatives, handgun, knife, edged weapon type of mindset, what would you say is the thing that most people, whether it's mindset or gear, are missing? Not to put you on the spot.
No. That's a great question. And you know, from the firearms world, we're tool users. Mm-hmm. Guys always want to talk about the newest, latest, greatest gadget. From the survival world, I see the newest, greatest gadget is always the hot topic. But mindset is the most important part, right? I say this all the time in firearms classes. Who should you be more afraid of? The gangbanger who's never pressed a trigger with an AK? Or the grizzled Vietnam vet with a single-shot bolt-action rifle? I know who I'm more afraid of. Yeah. I know the person who has the mindset to do whatever it is they need to do. I think the single thing that is missing, the single thing that we should all be working to develop, whether we're talking about fighting somebody in a parking lot or surviving after some disaster, is recognizing that something needs to be done and a willingness to be the person to do it. Mm-hmm. I think so often we get all this training, especially hand-to-hand firearms training, we get all of this training and then something bad happens and we sit there and we second guess ourselves until the point that it's too late to act and do something. Mm-hmm. We need to have good situational awareness to recognize that something is about to happen, something needs to be done, and we need to have a willingness to act. You know, it is critical that if you carry a firearm that you practice your draw stroke ad nauseum. You practice it over and over and over again, a good clean draw stroke. But if you don't recognize that you need to draw your gun and then you're willing to draw your gun, all the draw stroke practice was a waste. Right. And I'm sure we can relate that to lots of survival principles as well.
Absolutely. So we've mentioned the fact that you go elsewhere. You teach classes here. I'll make sure that I have links for everybody in the information below the video. So check that out. But also, do you have a YouTube channel? Do you Facebook? I do all those things.
How
do we find you there?
Kind of today we have to do all those things, right? Yeah. Even if it's begrudgingly. There is a Facebook page. It's facebook.com/performanceedge is the gym. There's a YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/theperformanceedge because somebody else had Performance Edge. There's a website. The website is performanceedgetraining.com. All those will get you to us.
All right. So,
and if you get to performanceedgetraining.com, you'll find links to everything else.
Okay, fantastic.
Again,
awesome. A pleasure always, Aaron. It's good to be with you. And check Aaron out on all the different stuff he just told you about, particularly on that website. That'll get you connected everywhere else. So come on, join in. Let's learn together.
Yep. Thanks.